ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم قل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا شريك لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آيات من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع الذين محضرون فاليوم لا تظلمون نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتاز اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسكناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نؤمره ننكس في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون. سورة مباركة الفاتحة.
Para Zuhur Imam ne zamana bulantar salawat. करबला के दश्त में ज़ैनब पे तन्हाई ना हो, वो घड़ी आए न यार, मैं रहूं भाई ना हो। करबला के दश्त में ज़ैनब पे तन्हाई ना हो, वो घड़ी आए न यार, मैं रहूं भाई ना हो। सोचते थे सैयदे सजाद माँ बहने साथ, सोचते थे सैयदे सजाद माँ बहने हैं साथ, शाम के बाजार में कोई शनासाई ना हो, शाम के बाजार में कोई शनासाई ना हो। रह गई मैं गम उठाने, लुट गया सब घर का घर, रह गई मैं गम उठाने, लुट गया सब घर का घर। बोली सुगरा इस खबर में काश सच्चाई ना हो, बोली सुगरा इस खबर में काश सच्चाई ना हो। शाम ढलते ही मदीने में ये कहती थी रुबा, शाम ढलते ही मदीने में ये कहती थी रुबा, मेरी बच्ची शाम के जिंदा में घबराई ना हो, मेरी बच्ची शाम के जिंदा में घबराई ना हो। सोचा शैने खाक से उठने की कोशिश हो ये काश, सोचा शैने खाक से उठने की कोशिश हो ये काश, मौत की आगोश में अकबर की अंगड़ाई ना हो, मौत की आगोश में अकबर की अंगड़ाई ना हो। भाई ने वादा किया था बल्कि मेहमाएंगे, भाई ने वादा किया था के मेहमान आएंगे काश श्री हमको लेने राह में आई ना हो काश श्री हमको लेने राह में आई ना हो करबला के दश्त में ज़ैनब पे तन्हाई ना हो वो घड़ी आए न यार मैं रहूं भाई ना हो बराए ज़हूर इमाम ज़माना बुलंद तर सलावत
Let us all recite 5 times Ayah Majibu for all those who are sick, for the safety of Muslims, for all those in need of du'as, for the safety of our holy places. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. For all those who are sick and for Muhammad, Surah Mubarakatul Fatiha.
علي أولاد علي بواسل بلند صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
بواسل بلند صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين والعاقبة لأهل التقوى واليقين الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين الذين ذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا
صل على محمد وآل محمد
أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وهو أصدق الصادقين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Respected brothers and sisters in Iman, Salamun Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
First and foremost, we send our condolences to the Imam of the time, Imam al-Zaman Ajjalallahu Farjahu Sharif.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali
Secondly, to the Marajas, the students of the Hawza. Thirdly, to each and every mu'min and mu'mina on the martyrdom days of our ninth Imam, Imam Muhammad Jawad al-Taqi. Now we start with a prayer and we pray, oh Allah, keep our Husayniyas, keep our mosques, keep our Islamic institutions open till the day of Qiyamah. Allah, please keep us away from the diseases of the dunya and the diseases of the akhirah. Oh Allah, on the martyrdom night of our ninth Imam, please give us the tawfiq that when the Imam appears, we can be a part of his army. Moving along, tonight we will mention some parts of the ninth Imam's life. We will mention some lectures and I will mention some traditions, whatever I can remember. The first thing that I will mention is two miracles. Whenever an Imam is born, there is always a miracle that is a symbol that symbolizes that he will be the next Imam. This happens on all the Imams. Now, when our ninth Imam is ready to come into the world, Imam Ali al-Raza, our eighth Imam, he calls upon his sister. His sister comes. And the Imam, our eighth Imam, he tells his sister to go into the room with the mother of our ninth Imam and close the door. She says, I closed the door. In the door, we had lit some candles. She says, when the time reached of midnight, automatically all of the candles stopped working. But I noticed that there was no darkness. When I looked to the left, all the candles had been blown out. But when I turned around and I looked to the right, I saw that there was certain nur coming from the corner. I saw there was a luminous face, and that face was the face of the ninth Imam, Imam Jawad al-Taqi. So these Ahlul Bayt, they do not depend on the lights of the dunya. They are the lights themselves. The second miracle, our eighth Imam, he is either 42 years old or 45 when Imam Jawad comes into the dunya. Now, all this time had passed along. The pious Shias of that time, there was a discomfort. They all would say, if there is no child of Imam Reza, who will be next in line? There was this discomfort. There was this disbelief. They would write letters to Imam Reza, and they would say, who is next in line? The Imam would say, be patient. Having sabr is ibadah. From this, we can learn a lesson that waiting for the Imam, no matter what time it is, waiting for the Imam itself is ibadah. Like you and I, we are waiting for the 12th Imam Zaman, Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif. It was the second miracle. They removed the discomfort of the Shias of that time. Now, when our eighth Imam passes away, Imam Jawad is either 7 years old or only 9 years old. For you and I, if we look at a 9-year-old boy, we call him a boy. Ma'mun, he was the caliph of the time. He had a strategy. He says, this boy is 9 years old. Why don't I move him near me so all of my spies can take a look at him? And I will test him also. So Ma'mun has this strategy that I will move the Imam next to me and I will test him. And the third thing, I will hold a gathering which will include thousands of people, and I will try to humiliate this young boy. So Ma'mun, he calls a feast. There's about thousands of people there, all of the elites of the time, all of those so-called millionaires of the time, all of those who have mansions, they're all present. Ma'mun is sitting on the minbar, and right next to Ma'mun, they make Imam Jawad sit with. Now the strategy was, the plan was that we will hire someone who is known as the most intelligent person of the Arabs. They hired a man by the name of Yahya bin Aqsam. He was Qadiyul Quzzat. He was the leader of the Supreme Court of the time. He was the head of that. He would make all of the decisions. Now, Yahya bin Aqsam, he walks in, he shrugs his shoulders, he clears his throat, he looks at Imam Jawad, then he looks at Ma'mun, and he says, are you serious? Are you going to make me, the one who is so knowledgeable, test a young boy? Who, now this is according to him. The young boy who doesn't even know his halal and his haram. The boy who doesn't even know his right or his left. The boy who has no studies in Islam. Ma'mun looks at Yahya bin Aqsam and he says, oh Yahya, only if you knew who this boy was. Oh Yahya, I know him. I know his father. I know that he belongs from the purest family. I know that he belongs from the purest lineage. I know that he has the purest blood there is in any family lineage there is. SubhanAllah. This is the merit. This is the fada'il of the Ahlul Bayt being recited by their enemy. So Yahya, he comes, he stands in front of Ma'mun. He looks at all the people. He turns around to Ma'mun and he says, shall I begin? Ma'mun says, oh Yahya bin Aqsam, you must take permission from this young boy to speak. Yahya bin Aqsam, he looks at Ma'mun. He says, what do you mean? I am Qadiyul Quzzat. You know, some people, when they get out, there's this disease which is called power hungry. It destroys countries, it destroys religions. A very dangerous illness this is. So he taps himself on the chest and he says, I am the most knowledgeable man there is. There is no one above me. How dare you tell me to take permission from this young boy? Ma'mun says, as the caliph of the time, I give you the order to ask permission from him. He says, why? Ma'mun says, because he is the Ahlul Bayt. Now Yahya, he feels a little bit ashamed. He walks towards the Imam. He looks at the Imam and says, do I have permission to speak? The Imam says, of course. According to you, you are the most knowledgeable man in all of Arab. According to you, You have all the knowledges. Go ahead and ask. Now the question that he asked the Imam is, he asked the Imam, what is the penalty for the person who was hunting in the haram? He asked that question and then he walks back, smiling at all of the people, as if he has already won the debate. Mamun calls him over. Mamun says, come here. He whispers in his ear, he says, do you know this is the son of Zahra? Do you know this is the son of Muhammad? Do you know this is the son of Ali? Even though I want the same thing as you want, and I want to win the debate so badly in front of everybody, why don't we wait a few minutes? Why don't we wait for his answer? Then we can both celebrate together and humiliate the young. And the Imam, he looks at Yahya. He says, Yahya, first of all, your question is incomplete. He says, what do you mean? The Imam says, when that person was hunting, were they inside Masjid al-Nabawi? Were they outside Masjid al-Nabawi? Were they close to the Kaaba? Were they behind the Kaaba? When they were hunting, was it a female or was it a man? When they were hunting, did they know what they were doing or did they do it out of mistake? When they were hunting, did they have the ihram on or was the ihram on? When they were hunting, was it morning? Was it Dhuhr time or was it night? What kind of animal did they hunt? Were they hunting an animal which lays eggs? Were they hunting an animal which gives birth? Were they hunting an animal that flies? Or were they hunting something that is in the seas? What were they hunting? What time were they hunting at? Who was doing the hunting? Yahya bin Hassan looks at Mamun and he says, what have you gotten me into? Who is this young boy? How does he have the knowledge? There's silence among the crowd. Everybody is looking at Yahya. Now what does Yahya do? He puts his face down. He walks towards the Imam. He takes the right hand of the Imam. He kisses the hand and he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah wa ashhadu anna anta waliyullah. So-called most knowledgeable man, in a few seconds or minutes, the Imam destroyed all of his knowledge. He takes the Imam's hand and he says, I bear witness there is one Allah, Muhammad is the messenger, and I bear witness that you are the Waliullah of our time. This was the knowledge of our Imam. This is how superior the intellect of the Imam. Let me mention another story. One time, there's a companion by the name of Yahya bin Imran. He says, I asked the Imam that there's a delegation, that there's a group of people coming from Tehran, they would like to do your ziyarah. Imam says, sure, there's no problem. They all come into the Imam's house and they are all sitting. They all say salam. The Imam responds, he says, wa alaykum as-salam. And then he points at one man and he says, take this man out of my house. They say, what did he do wrong that you are kicking him out of the house? All we said was salam upon you. Imam says, He is the munkar of Ahl Bayt. He has hatred toward the Ahl Bayt. I want him kicked out of the house right now. As soon as the servants get him up, he turns around to the Imam and he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah wa ashhadu anna anta waliyullah. He repeats the same sentence. The Imam says, if you are calling me waliyullah, I promise that all of the sins of your past have been forgiven. This is how the Ahlul Bayt work, brothers and sisters. They do not remind you of your past. Unlike us, if someone lies to you or cheats you, after years and years, we say, do you not remember in 2015, this is what you said? The Bayt, they do not work like this. And this has been repeated in the land of Karbala, and we all know this. Say it aloud, salawat. The same action was repeated when Hur came to Abu Abdullah. Imam Hussein could have said, you know what, Hur, your past doesn't look good. You know what? It's okay. You can fight with Yazid and we'll forget about it. But no, the Imam didn't say that. The Imam says, from today, O Hur, you are my brother. We have forgiven you. Allah has forgiven you. You will be in the same position that all of the martyrs of Karbala will be. Why? Because now you have our wilayah. Brothers and sisters, how lucky we are. All of us, we have the wilayah of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says, our wilayat, the love of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, is going to be beneficial in 7 stages. The first one, in the waqt al-maut. When the malak al-maut is going to come. Now there are 2 things that can happen. Malak al-maut can come as a person or someone who is screaming at you, and his screams are so loud that they are louder than the thunder. But for the moment, Allah, when it is time for you to leave this world, when Malak al-Maut will come close, the wilayah of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad will speak. When he is ready to take out the ruh, for the munafiq, it's as if you get cut from your toenails to your head. Now imagine how painful that is. Or if someone has put you in a sawmill and they're slowly cutting. That's for the munafiq. But for the mu'min and those who have the wilayah of Muhammad wa Muhammad, when Malak al-Maut comes to you and he is ready to take your ruh out, it's as if you are drinking your favorite drink in a hot desert. It's as if you are drinking your favorite iced tea from Dunkin' Donuts. It's as if you are drinking your favorite cappuccino or whatever you might like. This is for the mu'min and those who have the wilayah. The second stage that the wilayat of Muhammad wa Muhammad is going to help you is in the qabr. See, no matter how much someone loves you, no matter how much you talk to that person, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., no matter how long you stay on the phone with them, no matter how close you are, no matter how much your parents love you, there will come a day when they will bury you, they will leave your body, and you will be all alone 6 feet underground. Now, who will be there? It's going to be alone, right? there's going to be no lights. There's nothing there. But Muhammad says, when you are feeling all alone in your grave, there will be something there. There will be one nur which will say, do not worry, do not be depressed, do not be confused, do not worry, we have your back. You know how we say, I got your back? It will say, we have your back. And when the person will ask, what is this? It will say, I am the love of Ahlul Bayt. The third stage that the Vilayat of Muhammad is going to be beneficial. When you are taken out of the grave, on the day of judgment, everybody is going to be taken out. Most people will be taken out naked. There will be no libas. Now, how shameful would it be that a father sees his son in that condition? The Prophet Muhammad is saying, do not worry. For those of you who have our wilayat, we will make sure the libas of the love of Ahlul Bayt will be around. The fourth stage that the wilayat of Muhammad is going to be beneficial for, when they are doing hisab and kitab, when the angels are writing the books which have the good deeds, the Nama Amal and the bad deeds, we will make sure that you get the book in the right hand. And the Quran says, whoever gets the Nama Amal in the right hand, they will automatically enter into Jannah. How is this possible? Having the vilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam al-Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, and his sons and his progeny. The fifth thing, when they are weighing your Nama Amal, when there will be a scale, see, on the day of judgment, no matter how rich you are, no matter how popular you are, in front of the angels, everybody's equal. So they will set up a scale. And on that scale, on the right side will be good deeds. On the left side will be the bad deeds. Prophet Muhammad says, those who have our wilayah, if there comes a time and that scale is overrated by the bad deeds, we will make sure that our wilayah will benefit you on the scale. So the good amal will overweigh the bad amal. The sixth beneficial time will be when everybody is confused, when everybody is worried. Who will save me? On the day of judgment, and when everybody's standing in mahshar, there will be a great confusion. Who is going to save me? Who is going to take me into paradise? Prophet Muhammad says, do not worry. We will make sure that there is no confusion on that day. The seventh and the last thing that the vilayat of Muhammad will be beneficial is the Pule Sirat. This is one of the most toughest tests there is. Pule Sirat. Now, how will the true mu'mineen cross that bridge? Prophet Muhammad says, you will take one step onto the bridge. The second step, when you take it, you have already crossed the bridge. When you look back and you ask, what is going on? How did I cross this bridge? The angel will say, do not worry. This is the love of the Ahlul Bayt that you used to have. But obviously, brothers and sisters, there are always conditions. If you are a true mu'min, if you are doing your Islamic duties, if you are not going around spreading rumors, there's always conditions. If you are doing your part, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is saying, we will make sure you cross all the bridges without paying any tolls. We'll make sure you go straight into the paradise. Let me mention another hadith by our eighth Imam, Imam Ali al-Riza, salawatullah wa salamu alayhi.
اللهم صل على محمد.
It has some of the same repetition as the Prophet says. Imam Rizal, he says, Man zarani, whoever comes and does my ziyarat, I will help you and I will guide you in 3 of the following. See, when you go to ziyarat, say, for example, Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Abdullah, becomes wajib on Aba Abdullah to answer. Now, how do they answer? This is the question we get. So we are saying Assalamu alaikum ya Amin Allah. We are saying Assalamu alaikum ya Musa Rizal. We are saying Salam. How do they answer? The answer comes in many different forms, but the answer can come in having more rizq. The answer may come in getting complete shifa from disease. The answer may come in having a better life. Now the Imam says, the one who comes to my ziyarat and he does salam on me, I will help you on 3. Number 1, in the maut. When it is time for you to leave, when the angel of death comes and he is ready to take your ruh out, I, Ali al-Riza, will come and I will tell Malak al-Maut, make sure you take his ruh out in a pleasant way because he was my Zahir. Allah. The second thing, it's the repetition as same as the Prophet said. In the qabr, when you have no one to speak to, when there is no one there, there will be a nur. When asked, what is this nur? Imam Rizal would say, remember you came to my ziyarah? The third one, I will aid you and guide you on Qulay Sirat. The same way, when you take a first step, the second one, you wouldn't even know it. You won't even blink your eyes and you have crossed the Qulay Sirat. You will look back, say what has happened. Angels will respond. Imam Ali al-Riza has ordered us in the hukm of Allah to guide this person over the bridge. These are the benefits of doing the ziyarah of Imam Ali al-Riza. Say loud, salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
Brothers and sisters, we see the vilayat and how it will shape us and help us in many different ways. Now, let me mention another story about our ninth Imam, Imam Muhammad Jawad, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi.
اللهم صل على محمد.
One day, Ma'mun decided to go fishing. He is traveling and he sees there are young boys playing on the street. He's riding his horse. All of the children, they move away except one. Ma'mun is riding his horse. He's on the horse. He asked the young boy, "Oh, young boy, why haven't you moved?" The young boy, he said, "There is enough room for you to go around. I do not need to move. This is my spot and I will not move." Ma'mun says, "Do you not know who I am?" The boy says, "I know who you are. I know who your father is. I know your whole lineage. And I also know where you are going." Then Mamun, he gets off his horse. How dare this boy speak? He turns around. The Imam, it was the Imam. The Imam turns around and he says, do you not know who I am? No, I do not know who you are. Well, my name is Muhammad Jawad, the son of Ali al-Riza, and I already know that you are going fish, and I already know that when you come back, you are going to ask me a certain question. He goes fishing, he catches the fish, he comes back in the same spot. The Imam is still there. Now, Mamun, he has something in his hand. He asks the Imam, he says, if you say you are the son of Ali Rida, that means you are the Imam of the Shia. Can you please tell me what is in my hand? The Imam, he looks at Mamun, he smiles. The Imam says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created certain animals. Some animals, they have the freedom of flying in the air. They go from tree to tree. They go from the mountains to the mountains. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created some animals who stay in the seas. And these animals, they move around in the seas and the rizq is guaranteed. And then the Imam says there are some so-called Khalifas or caliphs of the time. They go fishing, they catch the fish, they come back and they hold the fish in their hand and they ask me that question. Allah. Mamun, he couldn't believe his eyes. He says, how do you know that there's a fish in my hand? The Imam says, oh Mamun, I also know that the fish that you have in your hand, it wasn't caught by you. It was caught by the hawks that you have. And also, oh Mamun, I know that this fish is still alive. When he opens his hand, what does he see? That the fish is moving and shifting. This was the knowledge of them. This was the way the Imam would carry himself. Recite aloud, salawat. Some advice from the Imam, and then I will end my lecture. The Imam says, the one who waits to do tawbah when he gets old, he is a fool. There are many brothers and sisters, they say, you know what, I am a young adult. Let me live my life the way I want. And then when I turn into my late 40s, 50s, I will go to Hajj and Ziyarah. And then everything will be okay. Allah will forgive all of my sins. The Imam says, those who do this, they are fooling themselves. They are fooling themselves. Who knows who will be alive tomorrow? Just last night, brothers and sisters, one of our brothers in New York, he was struck by a car and inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. 26-year-old. Who knows when you will pass away? Who knows when you will stop breathing? So the advice of the Imam is, the earliest you can do tawbah, tawbatul nasuha, make sure you do it. Then the Imam goes and he says, make sure that you do not become overconfident. There are some brothers and sisters, they finish a book on Islam or 3 books on Islam, and then they start comparing themselves to Ayatollah Khoy. Yes. Ask me anything, I know all of that. Do not become overconfident. The best ibadah is the one that is done in secret. If you, for example, if you pray Salatul Layl every single day, and if you have done many ziyarat, if you go to Hajj, if you are taking care of orphans, you are sending thousands and thousands of dollars, there is no need to go around and telling it. The one who needs to know, he already knows what you are doing. So do not become overconfident. And the ibadah that you do, make sure you keep them a secret. And then the Imam goes on and he says, make sure that you take care of your less fortunate brothers and sisters in your own community. See, some brothers, they love to send money overseas. Oh, I am doing this in this country. Oh, I am doing this in this country. While in our own communities, we have some people who are struggling. According to Imam Jawad, make sure you help your brothers and sisters in your communities first, and then yes, go ahead and help anybody that you want. May Allah give us the tawfiq that we can become the true mu'min that our Imam wants us to become. In the musibat, I will only mention a few sentences. The first is Imam Jawad, when he was poisoned, he was given the poison which is called Zahre Ilahi. Zahre Ilahi, the ulama have written that if you take one drop of Zahra Ilahi and you have a pool and you put fishes in that pool, if you drop one drop, all of the fishes would want to come out of that water. That's how much poison there is. Now when the Imam is poisoned, there is blood coming out of his mouth. There is blood on his beard. He is coughing. I would say, oh Imam Jawad, you were lucky. When you were poisoned, it was your hometown. Oh Imam Jawad, when it was time for your burial, when it was time for your ghusl, when it was time for your kafan, your son Ali al-Naqi came and helped you. I would say, oh Abu Abdullah, you had 3 sons whose name were Ali. Ali Akbar, Ali Asghar, and Ali Zainul Abidin, but unfortunately, no one could help you. Ali Akbar, he was struck in the chest with a spear. Allahu Akbar. The ulama have written, the love that Abu Abdullah had for Ali Akbar, it was equivalent love of 70 mothers loving their child. Allahu Akbar. When Ali Akbar would want to get the permission, what did the Imam do? He wouldn't give him permission. But when he finally gives him permission, he says, oh Ali Akbar, I want you to ride on the horse. When you are riding on the horse, face the horse towards the armies, but you sit in such a manner that I can keep seeing your face. Allahu Akbar. Now when Ali Akbar is going, when he gets closer to the enemies, he turns his face around. As soon as he turns his face around, Ali Akbar hears footsteps. He hears that someone is approaching. When Ali Akbar looks back, who is it? It is Imam Hussein. He is saying, oh Ali Akbar, how will you leave your father? Oh Ali Akbar, Allah. The second Ali is Ali Asghar. The ulama have written, Ali Asghar was so small that he was even smaller than the arrow which he was struck by. Allah. Now imagine the mother that is in the camera. One sentence of Ali Asghar, Sheikh Agha Kummi, he says that when they told Hurmila, oh Hurmila, we want you to shoot the arrow at Ali Asghar. Hurmila, he takes the arrow, he points it at the neck of Ali Asghar, his arrow drops. The second time, he does the same thing, he's shivering and his arrow drops. The third time when this happens, Shimon, the Joshan, comes and he says, oh Hurmila, we had hired you because you are the best archer of the time. Why is it that you keep dropping the arrows? He says, oh Shimon, every time I take the arrow, and I look at the Khamada and I see that there is a female. It's as if she is saying to me, oh Hurmila, why are you going to kill my baby? Oh Hurmila, what has Ali Asghar done to you? وما علينا إلا البلاغ. مات من حسين.
कहते से रो की बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसे से रो की बाबा मोहम्मद की क्या गजब हो गया बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसे से रो की बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसे से रो की बाबा मोहम्मद की क्या गजब हो गया बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसा सफर ये हुआ जिससे जुदाई हुई कैसा सफर ये हुआ जिससे जुदाई हुई चाहिए जन्नत हुए बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसे से रोज़ की बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसे से रोज़ की बाबा मोहम्मद की क्या गजब हो गया बाबा मोहम्मद की रोना शुक्र बना तुमसे जुदाई हुई रोना शुक्र बना तुमसे जुदाई हुई आह में अजल गया बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसे से रो की बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसे से रो की बाबा मोहम्मद की क्या गजब हो गया बाबा मोहम्मद की रोया करूँगा सदा जब तक है ये जिंदगी रोया करूँगा सदा जब तक है ये जिंदगी हो गई मुस्तफा बाबा मोहम्मद की नकी बाबा मोहम्मद की कैसे से नकी बाबा मोहम्मद की गजब हो गया बाबा मोहम्मद की हुसैन शहीद करबला ववेला हुसैन शहीद करबला ववेला आयत बदर से करबला ववेला हुसैन शहीद करबला ववेला हुसैन इमाम गरीब ववेला हुसैन शहीद करबला ववेला الله يوفق المؤمن والمؤمنات صواب الفاتحة. السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفدائك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد من دين زيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبا الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين وقاسم بن الحسن ومسلم بن عقيل وهاني بن عروة وحبيب بن مظاهر والحر الشهيد الياعي. السلام عليكم يا شهداء كربلاء جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولى وابن مولى. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلطان أبا الحسن مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدي في يوم الجلاء. وفقنا الله لزيارتك يا مولانا ويدخل الله شفاعتك في الدنيا والآخرة وعلى أختك فاطمة المعصومة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان. الأمان الأمان الأمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان ورحمة الله وبركاته. على أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات صواب الفاتحة.